At that time, the oceanic hosts at the Buddha's site of enlightenment had assembled. The unlimited types and species were all around the Buddha, filling everywhere. Their forms and companies were each different. From wherever they came, they approached the world-honored one, wholeheartedly looking up to him. These assembled masses had already gotten rid of all afflictions and mental defilements, as well as their residual habits. They had pulverized the mountains of multiple barriers and perceived the Buddha without obstruction. They were like this because Vairochana Buddha, in past times, over oceans of eons, cultivating the practices of enlightening beings, had received them and taken care of them with the 4 saving practices of generosity, kind words, beneficial action, and cooperation. And while planting roots of goodness in the company of each Buddha in those eons, had already taken good care of them, and had taught and developed them by various means, establishing them on the path of omniscience, where they sowed innumerable virtues, gained great merits, and had all entered completely into the ocean of skill in liberative means and undertaking of vows. The actions they carried out were fully pure, and they had well embarked on the way to emancipation. They always saw the Buddha clearly illumined, and by the power of supreme understanding entered into the ocean of the qualities of Buddhahood. They found the doors of liberation of all Buddhas, and roamed freely in spiritual powers. That is to say, ocean of subtle flames, a king of heaven of great freedom, found the door of liberation through the tranquility and practical power of the realm of space and the cosmos. The celestial king, light of the name of freedom, gained the door of liberation through freely observing all things. The celestial king, eye of pure virtues, found the door of liberation of effortless action, knowing that all things are not born, do not perish, and do not come or go. The celestial king, enjoyable great intelligence, found the door of liberation through the ocean of wisdom, directly perceiving the real character of all things. The celestial king, freedom of immutable light, found the door of liberation through the great practical concentration of bestowing boundless peace and happiness on living beings. The celestial king, eye of sublime adornments, found the door of liberation through causing observation of the truth of nullity and annihilating all ignorance and fear. The celestial king, light of skillful meditation, found the door of liberation through entering infinite realms without producing any activity of thought about existence. The celestial king, delightful great knowledge, found the door of liberation by going everywhere in the 10 directions to preach the truth, yet without moving and without relying on anything. The celestial king, universal sound array banner, found the gate of liberation by entry into the Buddha's realm of tranquility and everywhere manifesting great light. The celestial king, light of fame of extreme exertion, found the gate of liberation by abiding in his own enlightenment, yet having an infinitely broad perspective. At that time the celestial king, ocean of subtle flames, imbued with the spiritual power of the Buddha, surveyed the whole host of celestial beings of the heavens of great freedom, and said in verse, "The Buddha body extends throughout all the great assemblies. It fills the cosmos without end. Quiescent, without essence, it cannot be grasped. It appears just to save all beings. The Buddha, king of the teaching, appears in the world, able to light the lamp of sublime truth which illumines the world. His state is boundless and inexhaustible. This is what name of freedom has realized. The Buddha is inconceivable, beyond discrimination, comprehending forms everywhere as insubstantial. For the sake of the world he opens wide the path of purity. This is what pure eyes can see. The Buddha's wisdom is unbounded. No one in the world can measure it. It forever destroys beings' ignorance and confusion. Great intelligence has entered this deeply and abides there in peace. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. In beings who witness them, afflictions die out. They cause all worlds to find peace. Immutable freedom can see this. Sentient beings in the darkness of ignorance are always deluded. The Buddha expounds for them the teaching of dispassion and serenity. This is the lamp of wisdom that illumines the world. Sublime Eyes knows this technique. The Buddha's body of pure, subtle form is manifest everywhere and has no compare. This body has no essence and no resting place. It is contemplated by skillful meditation. The voice of the Buddha has no limit or obstruction. All those capable of accepting the teaching hear it. Yet the Buddha is quiescent and forever unmoving. This is the liberation of delightful knowledge. Serene, emancipated, master of the celestial and the human, there is nowhere in the 10 directions he does not appear. The radiance of his light fills the world. This is seen by majestic banner of unimpeded truth. The Buddha sought enlightenment for the sake of all beings, over boundless oceans of eons. With various spiritual powers, he teaches all. Light of fame has realized this truth. Furthermore, the celestial king, banner of the delightful light of truth, found the door of liberation in observing the faculties of all beings, expounding the truth for them, and cutting off their doubts. The celestial king, ocean of pure adornments, found the door of liberation, causing vision of Buddha whenever brought to mind. The celestial king, light of supreme wisdom, found the door of liberation, realizing the body of adornments that have no basis and are equal in terms of phenomenal nature. The celestial king, banner of independent wisdom, found the door of liberation, of comprehending all mundane things, and in a single instant setting up oceans of inconceivable adornments. The celestial king, delight in tranquility, found the door of liberation, of manifesting inconceivable Buddha lands in a single pore without hindrance. The celestial king, eye of universal knowledge, found the door of liberation of all-sighted observation of the universe. The celestial king, delight in use of intellect, found the door of liberation, producing all kinds of displays for the benefit of all beings, always appearing eternally. The celestial king, light of intellect sown with virtue, found the door of liberation, observing all objects in the world and entering into the truth of inconceivability. The celestial king, undefiled tranquil light, found the door of liberation, showing all beings the essential ways of emancipation. The celestial king, vast pure light, found the door of liberation, of observing all teachable beings and guiding them into the way of enlightenment. At that time, the celestial king, banner of the delightful light of truth, imbued with the Buddha's power, surveyed all the hosts of the heavens of minor vastness, infinite vastness, and vast results, and said, in verse, "The realm of the Buddhas is inconceivable. No sentient being can fathom it. The Buddhas cause their minds to develop faith and resolution and great enjoyment without end. If any beings can accept the teaching, the Buddha, with spiritual powers, will guide them, causing them to always see the Buddha before them. Ocean of adornments sees in this way. The nature of all things has no resting place. The Buddha's appearance in the world is the same way. They have no resting place in any state of being. Supreme wisdom can contemplate the meaning of this. Whatever be the heart's desire of sentient beings, the Buddha's spiritual powers can manifest. Each different, they are inconceivable. This is Wisdom Banner's ocean of liberation. All lands existing in the past they can show in a single pore, This is the great spiritual power of the Buddhas. Delight in tranquility can expound this. The inexhaustible ocean of all teachings is assembled in the sanctuary of one teaching. Such is the nature of truth explained by the Buddhas. Eye of knowledge can understand this technique. In all lands, in all quarters, expounding the truth in each and every one, the Buddha's body has no coming or going. This is the realm of delight in use of intellect. The Buddha sees things of the worlds as like reflections of light. He enters into their most recondite mysteries and explains that the nature of all things is always quiescent. Intellect sown with virtue can see this. The Buddha knows all phenomena and reigns the reign of truth according to being's faculties, in order to open the inconceivable gate of emancipation. Tranquil serenity can understand this. The world-honored one always, with great kindness and compassion, appears in order to benefit sentient beings, equally showering the rain of truth to the fill of their capacities. Pure light can expound this. Furthermore, the celestial king, repute of pure wisdom, found the door of liberation, comprehending the ways and means of emancipation of all sentient beings. The celestial king, supreme vision, found the door of liberation of shadow-like demonstration according to the wishes of all celestial beings. The celestial king, virtue of tranquility, found the door of liberation of great skill in means adorning the realms of all Buddhas. The celestial king, sound of the polar mountain, found the door of liberation of following all sentient beings into the eternally flowing cycle of birth and death. The celestial king, eye of pure mindfulness, found the door of liberation, remembering the Buddha's ways of taming and pacifying sentient beings. The celestial king, delightful universal illumination, found the door of liberation that flowed forth from the ocean of universal memory and concentration power. The celestial king, sovereign lord of the world, found the door of liberation of ability to cause sentient beings to meet the Buddha and produce the treasury of faith. The celestial king, light flame sovereign, found the door of liberation of ability to cause all beings to hear the truth, to believe and rejoice, and become emancipated. The celestial king, enjoyer of meditating on the truth and creating demonstrations, found the door of liberation, entering into the civilizing activities of all enlightening beings, boundless and inexhaustible as space. The celestial king, banner of miraculous displays, found the door of liberation, observing the infinite afflictions of sentient beings with universal compassion and wisdom. At that time, the celestial king, repute of pure wisdom, imbued with the power of the Buddha, surveyed the hosts of celestial beings of the heavens of little purity, boundless purity, and ubiquitous purity, and said in verse, "He who realizes that the nature of things is without solidity appears in all the boundless lands of the 10 directions, expounding the inconceivability of the realm of Buddhahood. He causes all to return to the ocean of liberation. The Buddha is in the world without a resting place. Like a shadow or reflection, he appears in all lands. The nature of things is ultimately non-origination. This is the entryway of the King's supreme vision. Cultivating skill and means over countless ages, purifying all lands in the 10 directions. The suchness of the universe never moves. This is the realization of virtue of tranquility. Sentient beings are shrouded and veiled by ignorance. Blind, in the dark, they remain always in birth and death. The Buddha shows them the path of purity. This is the liberation of polar mountain sound. The unexcelled path that the Buddhas traverse cannot be plumbed by any sentient being. It is shown by various expedient methods. Pure eye, clearly observing, can comprehend them all. The Buddha, by means of concentration formulae, numerous as the atoms in oceans of lands, teaches sentient beings covering everything. Universal illumination can enter this. The appearance of a Buddha is hard to encounter. It may be met once in countless eons. It is capable of inducing faith in sentient beings. This is the realization of the celestial sovereign. The Buddha explains that the nature of things is natureless, profound, far-reaching. It is inconceivable. He causes all beings to engender pure faith. Light flame can comprehend this. The Buddhas of all times are replete with virtue. They teach sentient beings inconceivably. Contemplating this produces joy. Enjoyer of truth can teach in this way. Sentient beings are sunk in the ocean of afflictions. Their ignorance and pollution of views are much to be feared. The great teacher pities them and frees them forever. This is the realm of contemplation, of banner of miracles. The Buddha constantly emits great beams of light. In each light beam are innumerable Buddhas. Each makes displays of sentient beings' affairs. This is the entryway of wonderful sound. Furthermore, the celestial king, pleasing light, found the door of liberation, of always experiencing the bliss of tranquil serenity, yet being able to appear in order to eliminate the sufferings of the world. The celestial king, pure, subtle light, found the door of liberation of the ocean of great compassion, the mine of joy and happiness of all sentient beings. The celestial king, sound of freedom, found the door of liberation, manifesting in a single instant the power of virtue of all sentient beings of boundless eons. The celestial king, supreme awareness and knowledge, found the door of liberation, causing all becoming, existing, and disintegrating worlds to be as pure as space. The celestial king, delightful, pure, subtle sound, found the door of liberation, of joyfully believing and accepting the teachings of all sages. The celestial king, sound of skillful meditation, found the door of liberation, of ability to spend an eon expounding the meanings and methods of all stages of enlightenment. The celestial king, adornment explaining sound, found the door of liberation, of methods of making great offerings when all enlightening beings descend from the palace of the Tushita heaven to be born in the world. The celestial king, profound light sound, found the door of liberation, of contemplation of the inexhaustible ocean of spiritual power and wisdom. The celestial king, great fame, found the door of liberation, of techniques for appearing in the world, having fulfilled the ocean of virtues of all Buddhas. The celestial king, supreme pure light, found the door of liberation, of the mine of faith and delight produced by the power of the Buddha's ancient vows. Then the celestial king, pleasing light, imbued with the power of the Buddha, surveyed all the celestial hosts from the heavens of little light, infinite light, and intense light, and said in verse, I remember the past practice of the Buddha, serving and providing offerings for innumerable Buddhas. His pure deeds, in accord with his original faith, are now all visible through the Buddha's spiritual power. The Buddha's body is formless, free from all defilement. Always abiding in compassion and pity, he removes the distress of all worlds. This is the liberation of subtle light. The Buddha's teaching is vast and boundless. It is manifest in all fields. According to their becoming and decay, each different, this is the power of liberation, of sound of freedom. The Buddha's spiritual power is incomparable. It appears everywhere, in the vast fields of all directions, and makes them all pure, always manifest. This is the technique of liberation of supreme mindfulness. Respectfully serving all the Buddhas, numerous as atoms in oceans of lands, hearing the teaching, getting rid of defilement, not acting in vain. This is subtle sound's application of the teaching. The Buddhas have, for immeasurable eons, expounded the techniques of the stages without peer. What they have explained is boundless and inexhaustible. Sound of skillful meditation knows the meaning of this. The infinite scenes of the Buddha's miraculous displays appear in all places in a single instant. Great techniques for conquering spirits and attaining enlightenment. This is the liberation of adorning sounds. Sustained by awesome power, able to explain and to demonstrate the deeds of spiritual powers of the Buddhas, purifying all according to their faculties. This is the liberation door of light sound. The Buddha's wisdom is boundless. It has no equal in the world. It has no attachment. Compassionately responding to beings, it manifests everywhere. Great fame has realized this path. The Buddha in the past cultivated enlightening practices, made offerings to all the Buddhas of the 10 directions. The vows made in the presence of each Buddha, supreme light hears and greatly rejoices. Furthermore, the Brahma king Shikin found the door of liberation abiding in all sights of enlightenment everywhere, and preaching the truth while being pure and free of attachments in all actions. Brahma king Light of Wisdom found the door of liberation, inducing all sentient beings to enter meditative absorption and stay there. Brahma king Radiance of Beneficent Wisdom found the door of liberation, entering everywhere into all inconceivable truths. Brahma king Sound of Ubiquitous Clouds found the door of liberation, entering into the ocean of all utterances of the Buddhas. Brahma king Independent Observer of the sounds and speech of the worlds found the door of liberation, of ability to remember all the techniques used by enlightening beings in teaching all sentient creatures. Brahma king Eyes of Still Light found the door of liberation, showing the individual differences in characteristics of results of actions and of all beings. Brahma king All-Pervading Light found the door of liberation, of appearing before all sentient beings to guide them according to their various types. Brahma king Sound of Magical Displays found the door of liberation, dwelling in the realm of tranquil and serene action of the pure aspect of all things. Brahma king Eyes of Shining Light found the door of liberation, of always diligently appearing with no attachments, no boundaries, and no dependence in the midst of all existence. Brahma king Pleasing Ocean of Sound found the door of liberation, of constant contemplation and investigation of the inexhaustible truth. At that time, the great Brahma king Shikin, imbued with the spiritual power of the Buddha, surveyed all the celestial hosts of the heavens of Brahma bodies, Brahma assistants, Brahma masses, and great Brahmas, and said in verse, "The Buddha body is pure and always tranquil. The radiance of its light extends throughout the worlds, signless, patternless, without images, like clouds in the sky. Thus is it seen. This realm of concentration of the Buddha body cannot be assessed by any sentient being. It shows them inconceivable expedient doors. This is the enlightenment of wisdom light. The ocean of teachings, numerous as atoms in a Buddha land, are expounded in a single word, all without remainder. They can be expounded this way for oceans of eons without ever being exhausted. This is the liberation of light of beneficent wisdom. The complete sound of the Buddhas is equal to the worlds. Sentient beings each obtain understanding according to their kind, yet there is no difference in the sound. Such is the understanding of the Brahma king, universal sound. The methods for entering enlightenment of the Buddhas of all times are all apparent in the Buddha body. This is the liberation of sound of freedom. The activities of all sentient beings are different. According to the causes, the effects are various. In this way do the Buddhas appear in the world. Silent light can understand this. Master of countless media of teaching, civilizing sentient beings everywhere in all quarters, yet not making distinctions therein, such is the realm of universal light. The Buddha body is like space, inexhaustible, formless, unhindered. It pervades the 10 directions. All of its accommodational manifestations are like conjurations. Sound of magical displays understands this way. The appearances of the Buddha body are boundless, and so are the knowledge, wisdom, and voice, being in the world, manifesting form, yet without attachment. Shining light has entered this door. The King of Truth reposes in the palace of sublime reality. The light of the reality body illumines everything. The nature of reality is incomparable and has no marks. This is the liberation of King Ocean Sound. Furthermore, the celestial King Sovereign Freedom had found the door of liberation of the treasury of freedom, manifestly developing and maturing innumerable sentient beings. Celestial King Sublime Eye Lord found the door of liberation, examining the pleasures of all sentient beings, and causing them to enter the pleasure of the realm of sages. Celestial King Beautiful Jewel Banner Crown found the door of liberation, causing all sentient beings to initiate practices according to their various inclinations and understandings. Celestial King Courageous Intelligence found the door of liberation, holding together all the doctrines preached for the benefit of sentient beings. Celestial King Wonderful Sound Phrases found the door of liberation, remembering the compassion of the Buddha and increasing progress in his own practice. Celestial King Subtle Light Banner found the door of liberation of manifesting the door of great compassion and smashing down the banner of all pride and conceit. Celestial King Realm of Peace found the door of liberation, conquering the malicious attitudes of all people. Celestial King Array of Splendid Discs Banner found the door of liberation of all the infinite Buddhas of the 10 directions, coming whenever they are remembered. Celestial King Flower Light Wisdom found the door of liberation, of everywhere manifesting perfect enlightenment according to the minds and thoughts of sentient beings. Celestial King Sublime Light of Indra found the door of liberation, of independence, of great awesome power to enter all worlds. At that time the Celestial King Sovereign Freedom, imbued with the majestic power of the Buddha, surveyed all the celestial hosts of the heavens of freedom, and said in verse, "The Buddha body is all-pervasive, equal to the cosmos. It manifests in response to all sentient beings. With various teachings, he is always guiding. Master of teaching, he is able to enlighten. Of the various pleasures of the world, the pleasure of holy tranquility is supreme. Abiding in the vast essence of reality, Sublime Eye sees this. The Buddha appears throughout the 10 directions, universally responding to all hearts, teaching the truth. All doubting thoughts are cut off. This is the door of liberation of Beautiful Banner Crown. The Buddhas speak the wondrous sound throughout the world. The teachings spoken over countless ages can all be expounded in a single word. This is the liberation of courageous intelligence. All the great kindness in the world cannot equal a hair-tip of the Buddha's. The Buddha's kindness is inexhaustible as space. This is the realization of wonderful sound. Completely demolishing in all quarters the mountains of pride of all beings. This is the function of the great compassion of the Buddha. This is the path traveled by Subtle Light Banner. The light of wisdom, pure, fills the world. Any who see it are relieved of ignorance and caused to leave the evil ways. Realm of Peace realizes this truth. The light of a hair pour is able to expound Buddha names as numerous as sentient beings. according to their pleasure. They all can hear it. This is splendid disc banner's liberation. The Buddha's freedom cannot be measured. It fills the cosmos and all space. All the congregations see it clearly. This liberation door, flower intellect enters. Over oceans of eons, infinite, boundless, manifesting everywhere and preaching the truth, never has a Buddha been seen to have any going or coming. This is the enlightenment of wonderful light. Furthermore, the celestial king's skillful transformation found the door of liberation of the power of magical displays, demonstrating all actions. Celestial king, light of silent sound, found the door of liberation, of relinquishing all clinging to objects. Celestial king, light of the power of transformation and emanation, found the door of liberation, annihilating the ignorant, muddled minds of all beings, and causing their wisdom to become fully complete. Celestial king, matter of adornments, found the door of liberation, manifesting unlimited pleasing sounds. Celestial king, light of mindfulness, found the door of liberation, knowing the infinite virtuous characteristics of all Buddhas. Celestial king, supreme cloud sound, found the door of liberation, knowing the process of becoming and decay of all past ages. Celestial king, supreme light, found the door of liberation of knowledge to enlighten all beings. Celestial king, exquisite top-knot, found the door of liberation, shedding light swiftly, filling space in all directions. Celestial king, joyful wisdom, found the door of liberation of the power of energy, whose deeds cannot be ruined by anyone. Celestial king, flower light top-knot, found the door of liberation, knowing the rewards of actions of all sentient beings. Celestial king, seeing in all directions, found the door of liberation, showing inconceivable differences in form and kind of sentient beings. At that time, the celestial king's skillful transformation, imbued with the majestic power of the Buddha, surveyed the whole host of celestial beings of the heavens of enjoyment of emanations, and said in verse, "The essence of the doings of the world is inconceivable. The Buddha teaches all about it for the confused, skillfully explaining the true principle of causality and the different doings of all sentient beings. Looking at the Buddha in various ways, there's nothing there. Seeking him in all directions, he can't be found. The manifestations of the reality body have no true actuality. This truth is seen by silent sound. The Buddha cultivated many practices over oceans of eons in order to extinguish the ignorance and confusion of the world. Therefore his purity is the most radiant light. This is the realization of the mind of light power. Of the sublime sounds and voices in the world, none can compare to the Buddha's sound. The Buddha pervades the 10 directions with a single sound. Entering this liberation is the master of adornment. All the power of wealth in the world is not equal to a single characteristic of the Buddha. The virtues of the Buddha are like space. This is perceived by mindful light. The infinite ages of past, present, and future, the various aspects of their becoming and decay, the Buddha can show in a single pore. Supreme cloud sound can comprehend this. The extent of all space may be known, but the extent of a pore of Buddha cannot be apprehended. Such non-obstruction is inconceivable. Exquisite top-knot has been able to realize this. The Buddha, in countless past ages, fully cultivated the far-reaching transcendent means, working diligently with non-flagging vigor. Joyful intelligence knows this teaching. The causes and conditions of the nature of actions are inconceivable. The Buddha explains them all for the world. The nature of things is fundamentally pure, with no defilements. This is the entryway of flower light. You should gaze on a pore of the Buddha. All sentient beings are therein, and they neither come nor go. This is the understanding of universal sight. Furthermore, the celestial king contented found the door of liberation of all Buddhas, bringing forth a complete, fully rounded teaching in the world. Celestial king, ocean of joy and bliss top-knot, found the door of liberation of the body of pure light extending throughout the realm of space. Celestial king, banner of supreme virtues, found the door of liberation of the ocean of pure vows to extinguish the sufferings of the world. Celestial king, still and silent light, found the door of liberation of physical manifestation everywhere to expound the truth. Celestial king, pleasing eyes, found the door of liberation, purifying the realms of all sentient beings. Celestial king, jewel peak moon, found the door of liberation of the inexhaustible store of eternal manifestation, teaching all worlds. Celestial king, courage and strength, found the door of liberation, showing the realm of true awakening of all Buddhas. Celestial king, subtle diamond light, found the door of liberation, fortifying and solidifying all sentient beings' will for enlightenment, making it unbreakable. Celestial king, constellation banner, found the door of liberation of techniques for associating with all Buddhas that appear, meditative investigation, and harmonization of sentient beings. Celestial king, pleasing adornments, found the door of liberation of instantaneously knowing the minds of sentient beings and appearing according to their potentials. At that time, celestial king contented, imbued with the awesome power of the Buddha, surveyed all the hosts of the heavens of contentment and spoke in verse. The Buddha is vast, extending throughout the cosmos, equal toward all sentient beings. Universally responding to all hearts, he opens the door of wonder, causing them to enter the inconceivable pure truth. The Buddha body manifests everywhere in the 10 directions. Free from attachment and obstruction, it cannot be grasped. In various forms, it is seen by all worlds. This is the entry of top-knot of joy. The Buddha cultivated various practices in the past, his pure great vows deep as the sea. All enlightening ways he causes to be fulfilled. Supreme virtue knows these techniques. The Buddha's body is inconceivable. Like reflections, it shows separate forms, equal to the cosmos, everywhere, clarifying all things. This is the liberation door of silent light. Sentient beings are bound and covered by habitual delusion, conceited, careless, their minds run wild. The Buddha expounds for them the way to calm. Pleasing eyes, aware of this, rejoices at heart. The true guide of all worlds, he appears to rescue, to provide refuge, showing all beings the abode of peace and happiness. Jewel peak moon enters deeply into this. The state of the Buddhas is inconceivable. It extends throughout all universes. Entering all things, reaching the other shore, courageous intellect, seeing this, rejoices. If any sentient beings can accept the teaching and, hearing the virtues of Buddha, strive for enlightenment, he causes them to dwell in the ocean of bounty, forever pure. Subtle light is able to observe this. Gathering around all the Buddhas, numerous as the atoms of the lands of the 10 directions, reverently making offerings and hearing the teaching, this is the vision of Constellation Banner. The ocean of sentient beings' minds is inconceivable. It has no rest, no motion, no place of abode. The Buddha can see it all in an instant. This beautiful array well comprehends.